Well, I always wanted the driveway fixed because it was pretty rough, and I've always said to my wife I'd like it fixed, and out of the blue there was a flyer in the letterbox that just fitted the bill very nicely. And Betty said, there's a couple of chappies coming to see you, a couple of Irishmen. So they came down and told me what they did and all the rest of it, and it sounded pretty good. And they said they were desperate for work to keep their people employed, and they were in the district. Would I like this job done? I was a little bit concerned when they wanted cash. Not up front, but they wanted cash. That worried me a bit.
Travelling con men set up elaborate schemes. Not only are they well known for cold calling, that's door knocking in the middle of the day, but they attach advertising material to telegraph poles. They letterbox drop.
So travelling con men are a particular problem right across Australia, and the reason they are a problem is that these are people who often come into the country who are providing or attempting to provide services to consumers, unwitting consumers. They usually appear unsolicited on your doorstep, and they usually approach you to do household repair work or maintenance work around the house. It might be painting the roof, it might be putting bitumen in a driveway. These people usually present in a very pleasing demeanour. They're friendly, they're chatty. They're offering you usually a big discount on the work to be done. Often they've got asphalt left over from a previous job up the road.
Anyway, we decided to go ahead with it because it all sounded pretty realistic and pretty proper. And the day came, they had the road base down, the day came, and for the job to be done, there was a roller in my yard, and I was up at my workplace. I still do a bit of part-time work. And I explained to my son I'm going home because there's a bitumen people. So he told me, gosh, Dad, he said, these are Flyby nights. He said, they're shonks. He said, it's all over the radio. I said, you're fair dinkum. He said, too right, we had them in here. So I got the granddaughter to ring my wife, Nan, and she rang the police. I drove home to find the fair trading people in the yard. I no sooner walked in here and the two Irish blokes ran up the yard, jumped the fence, hopped in their car, shot through, and I've never seen them since. They did a runner, and I didn't know what was going on. Betty met me at the front door and explained there was some people here to see me about these people. So I had the physician explain to me that they had been menacing other people, they had done work of a low grade for other people, and demanded cash.
Licensed tradespeople in New South Wales carry identification. They're in the form similar to a driver's licence. To ensure someone's licensed, you should ask to see their identification issued by New South Wales Fair Trading. Licences are a legitimate way of ensuring that a person is adequately accredited and not disqualified or barred for particular industries. It's as simple as logging onto the New South Wales Fair Trading website to check the authenticity of a tradesperson's licence.
They don't comply with the Australian consumer law provisions that relate to rules around unsolicited selling. Those rules provide important protections for consumers. They mean that you have to provide identification, you are able to ask someone to leave your home, and that person must leave immediately. Importantly, for these sorts of transactions, it's prohibited to seek any payment within a 10-day cooling off period, and that 10-day cooling off period must be provided to any consumer who contracts for those services. These travelling con men ignore those laws and importantly either don't do the work, do it in a shoddy way, and usually ask exorbitant prices. Whilst they might be charming in the initial phases of soliciting your acceptance of their quote, when it comes to payment you'll usually find that that quote's been ratcheted up and they become quite intimidating in terms of trying to get their money from consumers. They're known to take elderly people to banks if you don't have the cash handy, and oversee the withdrawal of large sums of money.
Well, I think this is a bit sort of how you're going down here, and I can't see that having a very long life. It might be on the council strip, but the whole idea though was to pave it right through so could get the water out of there. And if you have a look around the edges, particularly thin, and everybody's frightened me because I've since found out the two nursery people also had them in there, and it didn't last 8 to 12 weeks.
Millions of dollars goes missing from Australia, walking literally offshore because of these travelling con men.
Often people have to pay other tradespeople to actually repair the work that's been done because it's been done in such a bad and detrimental way.
The worst of the whole thing is the fair trading people have pointed out, because they're unregistered, they're unlicensed, I can have no redress or recall if the work is not up to standard or I've got a problem with the job. The whole thing with this, I always wanted something like this, but at my age there's no chance. Once I've taken that money out of the bank, there's no chance I'll ever be able to put it back in. So it's a one-way ticket with your money. That's the scary bit.
It's so important that New South Wales Fair Trading has the community's help to locate where these travelling conmen operate from. By simply calling our 24-hour national hotline on 1300 133 408, you can do your bit to help us combat travelling conmen.
There's a variety of ways in which people can complain and lodge a formal complaint with Fair Trading. They can do that online by going to the Fair Trading website and using the facility for making that complaint. Alternatively, they can write to Fair Trading and address it to our business address. And we will take complaints in certain circumstances over the phone by people contacting 1332 20. Similarly, they can go into a Fair Trading Centre and lodge that directly, or in the future to a Service New South Wales service centre.